All right, welcome to Joe Manchin Monday, where we take some of the stories that everyone's favorite West Virginia Republican, Democrat, uh, has been involved with for the past couple of weeks. I'll be reading some of these tales. I'll try to go in chronological order. Some stuff is mixed up a little bit. I'll give a little bit of context as well for people who are not entirely familiar with this man's positions and why he's such a iconic member of the U.S. Senate. And overall, we'll have a seemingly enjoyable time. Um, I should also mention that one of the principles of doing this is that I'm trying to cement the fact that I think he's probably, in like 40, 50, 60 years, because there's always 100 senators, he'll be one of probably 5 to 10 that will still get mentioned and talked about and discussed. Um, Even if I would prefer they talk about other people because they're much better in terms of their voting record and stuff like that. But again, I don't make the rules. I'm not the leading historian of the modern era, so that's that. Anyways, let's waste no more time and get into these tales of terrificness from such a great man and wonderful representative. All right, the first story we have is from West Virginia. Oh, this is CBS Fox 59. Senator Joe Manchin announces funding for COVID-19 counseling. Money is on the way to help fund crisis counseling for West Virginians affected by COVID-19. U.S. Senator Joe Manchin, Democrat of West Virginia, announced the funding from the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, on Friday. Senator Manchin announced 120. Who is calling me? Hello? They call you and don't say anything. That's so weird. All right. So this was announced on June 26th. The funding from FEMA. And Manchin also announced that $123,500 is coming to West Virginia to help counseling in the state. Manchin endorsed Collins and somehow it's Collins who has more negative approval as a result. Well, you know how it is when you're a moderate, not even just a moderate, but somebody that tries to stay consistent with your positions, you get attacked. Like with Collins, they were saying she said she was pro-choice, but she votes for pro-life judges. But then she has a voting record that's pro-choice as well, and that's hush hush. Told you, Ruben, that lady has been under attack for 2 straight years. I would love for her to get her seat again to win. That would be perfect. All these crybabies could stop whining on Twitter. Okay, Senator Manchin released the following statement regarding the funding. Across our state, West Virginians are fighting the COVID-19 pandemic and managing the effects of this crisis on our communities, family, friends, and loved ones. This can take a toll on people, which is why I urge FEMA last month to give West Virginians access to the support they need during this difficult and uncertain time. I am pleased that FEMA is supporting crisis counseling in our state and hope the services are utilized by West Virginians who need them. I've never seen Terminator before. So, because I'm fair, I will say this story doesn't look that bad on Manchin's part. It's not his usual right-wing loving self taking effect. We go over here. So that's one story down. We got 3 more. My Bucky Hannon. Some of these website names get so weird. I remember I was on this one website. It wasn't the Gazette, but it was somewhere else, and it sounded like an animal. Just I was so confused. It's like these are the news sources. They can't even just be normal anymore. Like MSNBC doesn't sound too appealing, but it at least, that stands for something. That there's a reason you have all those letters thrown together. With a lot of these places, they just, it seems, pick a name out of a box. It's really weird. Also, let me put this right here in case someone comes, because whenever I do a stream, I get interrupted a billion times for some reason. That's how the streaming goes in the modern era. You try to talk about something, you just keep getting cut off. Mm. All right, our second story is Manchin's statement on charges announced in what is this? Veteran Affairs. Some person was messing with veterans, and he said something about it. Today, U.S. Senator Joe Manchin, Democrat of West Virginia, released the following statement on the charges announced today in the Clarksburg Veterans Affairs Medical Center investigation. My heart goes out to the families and loved ones who tragically lost a veteran and have had to endure this injustice. While overdue, today justice is finally being served. I hope today's announcement brings some semblance of peace to their hearts and to the families who are still uncertain about the fate of their veterans. Today's news confirms that the nursing assistant at the Clarksburg VA Medical Center murdered veterans under her care. What an evil hoe. As a member of the Senate Veterans Affairs Committee, I will not stop until we determine how this could have happened and ensure it never happens again. Our veterans deserve world-class care, and their families deserve peace of mind at every step of the way, said Senator Manchin. So some evil broad was murdering veterans, and Manchin came out and said he will not stop until this is solved. Ruben says, I will be getting attacked because I'm not impressed by Nina Turner and view people like her to have caused more damage than positive change in the U.S. than people like Jeff Weaver. Oh, yeah, they love attacking Weaver. Well, you see, Turner and the squad are basically the new darlings of the Sanders supporters. So you'll see a lot of them who will go after Roe, for example, for a vote or something he says, but then they won't mention the fact that they only like Nina because of stuff she says, not because she has some voting record that is so progressive and wonderful and actually has ever led on any topic whatsoever. Same thing with the squad members. I guarantee you, most of the people that are sitting over there trying to bump them up, they can't name anything they've actually done. You know, except maybe the Green New Deal, just because that got a bunch of press attention. Yeah, I don't get the Turner obsession either. It's really strange. But like I said, I don't get a lot of these people that get propped up. Like at least when we were talking about Omar, and I know you got disillusioned with her last year, at least she stood for something as far as being very opposed to the Israeli government. You know, that was something you could at least say she led on. The rest of them just say a bunch of stuff and they get a bunch of accolades because they nominally support a position. They don't have a record of trying to lead on anything, which is why I get so upset when they're trying to attack Roe, because he actually leads on international issues repeatedly. But whatever, people don't listen. U.S. Senator Joe Manchin, Democrat of West Virginia, along with 43 senators, introduced a resolution that supports the United States Postal Service and advocates for more USPS funding in future COVID-19 relief packages. The U.S. Postal Service is a vital federal agency that ensures all Americans can utilize the mailing system that many of us take for granted. In rural states like West Virginia, the USPS services are even more important because they provide everyone access to their letters, packages, and more, no matter where they live in our state. I am proud to introduce this resolution in support of the Postal Service and will advocate for more funding to assist their essential work in the next COVID-19 funding package, along with other West Virginia priorities, said Senator Joe Manchin. And I'll read the rest of this after I read Ruben's comment. I saw a lot of left-wing people who canceled AOC a long time ago for being too close to the Democrats and suddenly uncanceled AOC when Tucker Carlson ranted about her last week just so that they could whine about how Tucker Carlson is an evil racist. Well, you saw a lot of progressives don't like Tammy Duckworth, the junior senator from Illinois, and once she got attacked by Tucker, here they come. I'm so proud of her. She's such a great senator, even though I can't name a single damn thing she's done since getting in the Senate 3 years ago. She's so terrific. I love her. I told you it's just a game of who do you dislike more. As long as you're disliked more, you get accolades. That's why people forget Pelosi had I think it was a 28% approval rating when she was speaker the first time, and it's gone up to 40 something now because more people dislike Trump than her. So he's helped her to get more popular, even though she is still the same devil incarnate monster that she was 10 years ago. Oh, all right. Oops, almost said its name. With the COVID-19 aid relief and economic security, the CARES Act included a $10 billion emergency loan to the U.S. Postal Service from the Treasury Department, according to the release. The Trump administration has said it will not make the loan unless USPS closes post offices, raises rates, and scales back services. So there's a catch to getting the funding. In addition to Senator Manchin, a resolution is also co-sponsored by Maria Cantwell, Cory Booker, Chuck Schumer, Gary Peters, Richard Blumenthal, Sheldon Whitehouse, Tom Carper, Gillibrand, Jones, Coons, Reed, Baldwin, Bernie, Smith, Menendez, everybody. Jesus Christ. They weren't lying when they said 40 other Senate Democrats. It looks like it's everyone other than obviously they're missing some people, but I'm looking at the names. I'm trying to think of which ones they're missing. I think Feinstein isn't on this. Yeah, she's not on here. And oh, she is. I take that back. Now I'm gonna get accused of being fake news. Because I said someone wasn't on that list for one bill and they were out of the 40 plus people that are on there. West Virginia looks like the most boring state in the US to live in. Wouldn't that be Montana or Wyoming? I mean, over here, the only thing we've been able to do for the last few months is get infected by a virus. What fun. And have a grandstanding governor pretend like he's doing such a great job. Oh, man. You see, is Warren on here? Yeah, she is. They should tell us which ones are not on there. See, if I was still editing Wikipedia, I probably would put that on one of the political position articles because they have a whole thing about certain politicians and their position on the post office. So this would fit under there. But because that website pissed me off so much, to hell with updating their pages. Menendez is incredibly bad too, but gets overshadowed by Booker, although Booker is bad too. Well, Menendez is literally one of the most corrupt politicians in modern American history. And Booker is just a what's a good way to put it? He's trying to be Obama 2.0, where he tries to appear progressive while also being conservative on multiple issues. But he does occasionally vote on a lot of war issues. He's not that bad, in my opinion. When I didn't do the video on Afghanistan, which I'll try to get to this week, but in that diet Obama. In that 30 plus senators that voted to get out of that war, or to get the resolution for it done with, he was one of the ones that voted for that, which I thought was good because it seems like there are actually a segment of Democrats who genuinely are trying to stay out of these conflicts. And it's not just a party thing because you had 16, 17 Democrats vote to stay in it, including my senior senator, fine crap. Yeah, I can send you the list if you want it. Like I went on Senate votes on Senate votes and found it. Let me grab it. And I told you he's one of only 10 senators that voted against the USMCA, which even stupid Warren voted for. So he does have some votes I like. I'm not trying to say they make up for anything, or no, I'm just saying that I certainly would prefer him over most of the Senate Democrats at this point, which is a low bar, but I think it's still something worth noting. Hell, even Schumer voted to get Afghanistan. Now you know that's horrible when you're getting out lefted by Schumer. Oh my God. Did Manchin? Nope. Manchin voted to stay in that war forever. What a lovely man. I should do a video of me calling his office and asking why he voted for that. Because I actually did that one time. I called Harris's office and asked why she voted for something, and they acted like they didn't know what I was talking. They're like, "What's the name of the bill? When was it done?" Man, and it was fairly. It was, I think, a couple of days after it happened. I was just asking what happened. You know, why did she vote this way? And they wouldn't explain it. What a bunch of useless staffers. All right, we got one more to go, and then we can have a free for all. U.S. Senators Joe Manchin and Shelley Moore Capito, Democrat and Republican of West Virginia, members of the Senate Appropriations Committee, today announced $1,910,421 from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services for maternal and child health services in West Virginia through the West Virginia Department of Health and Human Resources, and for research for mothers and children at West Virginia University. The COVID-19 pandemic has put an even brighter spotlight on the necessity of healthcare access for all West Virginians. I am pleased that Health and Human Services is investing in maternal and child health services, which are so vital, especially during a global health crisis that continues to affect the lives of every West Virginian. The funding will help provide access to necessary health care for our mothers and children across the state and will support research for mothers and children through what is this, WVU? I guess that's that school, West Virginia University. I will keep fighting for funding that supports our healthcare providers, health centers, and frontline workers during this pandemic, said Senator Manchin. All right, let me read Rubin wrote. I saw a video clip about John Lewis in the late 1980s saying that the USSR is anti-Semitic because they blocked Jews from moving to Israel. Well, remember, Rubin, that the supposed human rights hero, John Lewis, also voted to stay in Libya and keep bombing over there in 2011. But this is the person everybody wants to praise. Dude, I don't even want to go and look up and see if he was one of the Democrats that voted to go to Yemen. Because of that, if I end up finding that out, I might just die. Basically, he was just another Democrat. You know, they don't. What's a good way to put it? They don't have conviction because they're trying to stay with the in crowd. So he didn't really use his position as a member of the House to ever challenge the authority of any either Democratic president or Democratic leader of Congress. He just was there, you know. I mean, I wish people would stop trying to act like this was some amazing man who was speaking truth to power for decades. Like, he had a very nice run in the civil rights movement that a lot of people, unfortunately, probably couldn't even name anything he did. I mean, let's just call it what it is. And then after that, he just kind of sat in the House and really didn't do much besides vote the same way as the rest of the members of his party and go whatever way the tide was turning. But you can't say certain things without people getting mad and going, "You're just being mean." It's like, no, I'm just telling the truth. We can look up his votes and see very conservative votes on his part. I wouldn't be surprised if he voted for the USMCA. Imagine if I did a John Lewis documentary and I'm like praising his civil rights record, and then we get to the his actual, you know, votes in the House, because most of them are online for people to look up if they want to, and we just find like, oh my God, like I wouldn't get mad at him for voting to go to Afghanistan because everybody did other than Lee, but the rest of that stuff, it's not looking too good. Let me see. Who else voted to right? It was Grassley. It was, I would really, instead of doing like a whole documentary, I would love to do like a video where it's like this politician's position on Afghanistan or something. Like, oh, this person has voted to stay over there 30 times, just some little video where you could basically explain how they're just choosing to be over there forever, repeatedly. Let me see here. Kramer. Just this is the longest war ever, and people want to keep it. Like most of the Senate voted to keep that going. That is so insane. Manchin voted to keep it going. Of course, obviously, we know how he is. Reid voted to keep it going. Murphy, the supposed liberal senator from Connecticut, voted to keep it going. Mark Warner. I mean, I'm not surprised. Him and Tim Kaine are Republicans. They're Republican light. Although, to be fair to Kaine, did he vote to? Yeah, he voted against staying over there. So I'll give him credit for not being as ridiculous as he usually is. Jones voted to stay. Like, okay, it was Jones, Manchin, Murphy, Sinema, Warner. Like these are Democrats, the part of the quote unquote anti-war liberal party. I'm at a loss for words. I told you, American politics is basically this. You sign up for someone's team before you run for office, so you either Democrat, Republican, Green Party, whatever. And then if you win, you basically vote in a way that usually is like everybody else while claiming that you're doing all this independent stuff that's so important. Murphy was criticizing Americans who, according to him, were more concerned with healthcare than climate alarmism months ago. Yeah, Murphy is he's another one of those people that tries to market themselves as being progressive, but then when you actually look at their voting record, it's pretty abysmal in some areas. I told you I looked up like Rose's name on YouTube and I saw a video where a guy was upset at him because he said, you know how Democrats are, where they always try to say that that Bush, the younger one, so 43, was like what's a good way to put it? He was a return to form and normal and all that. He made some really tepid one sentence praise of Bush, and it was enough for somebody to make a 5 or 6 minute video rant about I couldn't tell if this was Ro Khanna or Buddha trash. I'm just sitting like, how come you never make a video when he votes a way that supposedly is progressive? But I told you with him, it's like the double standards are so crazy. Because I went on the guy's channel, I looked through his videos. He's got like 10 or 12 on AOC, and then like nothing on Ro other than that, and like another video where he's whining about him too. So basically, anytime he says something he doesn't like, it's time to jump out and lose your mind, pretty much. Told you I try to be fair when I give my criticisms of these people. Like even when I was doing the Henry Kissinger documentary, I was still saying that there were certain good things that came out of his tenure as was it National Security Advisor. I feel that Sinema is not well liked by the Democratic Party establishment, despite essentially being another corrupt politician, and that if so, then it's because she used to be in the Green Party. Yeah, and I really do hate the amount of time that's lapsed, but there was a video someone made about how she basically betrayed the Green Party. Which guy was it? By any chance, was there any videos about Tulsi Gabbard? I I don't remember his name. I just know he has a really good camera because people always say my camera's so bad. He has a mic in front of him and no background atmosphere stuff whatsoever, and that he was basically just like sitting in some chair somewhere. So I'll have to look for it again. I could probably find it a second time. Although I probably shouldn't tell you because I don't want to give him any views. He's not that big of a channel. He's got about 10,000 plus subs. So if that's any indication of who he is. I just think it's so sad that we have just a whole group of people on this website that seem dedicated to trying to screw with. Like, I realized I don't talk to other progressives, people that call themselves that, because they have like little quirks that I don't really understand. Um, there's actually a much, like me and Ruben, we talk about Susan Collins getting screwed with, but there's actually a person with about, I think, 100 or 200,000 subs, and they were like talking about she betrayed women because she voted for Kavanaugh, and then they have another video where they're like, I wish Republicans would stop being so cowardly and vote to get out of Yemen, and I'm like, well, she's one of only a couple of them that actually votes to get out of there, but then you still go after her anyway, so that vote clearly doesn't mean that much to you. You know what I'm saying? I just wish people would be more consistent. Like if they have votes that you supposedly like, and you want to sit there and harp on the same vote over and over again year after year, and they've done all these other votes that you like, I just don't understand the point of that. That's why I just try to stay away from a lot of the nonsense that's written on Twitter and all these other places, because it's just people pushing a very, in my opinion, not healthy ideology where someone can do I remember there was this whole quote that I read somewhere where they said someone can do a million things right, but if they do one thing wrong, people always remember that one thing. It's like you guys get this mad about her voting for one Supreme Court pick, when in the past she has voted for both of the ones Obama had, the Trump one before that, Gorsuch, who mysteriously has not been talked about since he got confirmed. I'm no longer bothered about Markey possibly losing because how two-faced the left wing is acting. Oh well, all right. I just think he's better than Mister. Oh my, my grandpa was good, but I'm supposed to be as well. Yeah, things are getting really weird. And the main reason I was saying it was a bad thing for him to lose is because he actually is, in my opinion, more progressive than probably any other senator besides like Sanders and Merkley, maybe Baldwin. I just think it's funny that like all these people that Kennedy looks like a vampire, the ginger vampire. Well, I was gonna say that I thought it was really funny how all these people love AOC and the Green New Deal and all that, but then the person who co-sponsors it with her, uh, they have no time for him. They're not going to donate to him. They're not going to go and tell all the people in that state to vote for him. Nope. I really do have to make that video why progressives will always lose, because they don't support each other, and then they get all this infighting to where even if they get someone that they at one point like, they still won't support them because they're playing that game of this person's not good enough for me. Yeah, they're actually not that bad if you just stay off of Twitter though. As far as like them saying stuff that actually can get on your nerves and be obnoxious, but I guess maybe just something about that website makes people just terrible. It's just getting on my nerves to see that after goofing off for so long, they're suddenly elevating Markey the same way the resistance elevated Mueller and Ginsburg once they realized that he might actually lose. Well, that's how progressives work. Unless you're running for president, you kind of get ignored by them. Like, you notice after Sanders stopped running, you don't hear that. If they are talking about him, it's to blame him for not running the way they would have liked. Hello? No. Sorry about that. We keep getting called by people for some reason. All these random phone numbers. Yeah, they're two-faced. They don't actually care about anything. And it's like I said, when you have people who are so ideological that even when people do things they like, um, you're it's a recipe for disaster. Did I just get an ad before your video? You're hitting the big time. I don't know what the big time is. Can't even get $2 off of these things. Are you kidding me? Besides, if I say the virus's name, I'm gonna get demonetized anyway. It doesn't matter. This damn website, they find a million ways to mess you up on here. I already caught that one broad that was murdering veterans that she was supposed to be taking care of a hoe. So I probably already got demonetized. I mean, that's what she is. If you're killing people, and I don't know what other term you'd like for me to call. Oh my God, not him. What is? You know what? I want to ask Ruben. I don't want Susan to get any scent of mine. It's fine, whatever. Ruben, I want to ask you this. There was a person a couple of days ago who left some comment where they were like, "Start a gaming channel. I want you to grow." And I said to myself, how would it make any sense whatsoever for a person that you supposedly want to get bigger to make a channel where by default of it being new, they start off smaller? Like what, and then why would a person who does political stuff want to now suddenly have an entire channel where they're playing games when they don't even play games on their own channel? Like what, like what's wrong with you people? I don't understand the logic behind that. That's probably because there is none. Man, that was weird. That's where the money is. Yes, every person with the gaming channel is just doing so well, and they all have millions of subs. I believe that. Man, there are so many different people I've seen in the comment section of these different like DB videos, and I go on their channel and they're playing some game. They don't even have 10 views. What you want to tell me? But if you just start the gaming channel, people will come. They'll just magically appear. Oh my God. And then whenever the people recommend this, they never talk about the topic at hand. Like I cover 4 news stories, and I haven't heard you love mention a single one of them. I bet if I had large melons, like certain other people on here, he would listen to what I have to say. Yeah, I will not be doing that. First of all, because I don't even play games that much anyway. Secondly, I don't see the point of trying to do something everybody else is doing. So I'm good. I was trying to talk about these important news stories. We haven't even talked about Manchin the whole month. And then You Love wants to come in here with his suggestions. I'm going to ban him. There he's gone. This is supposed to be Joe Manchin Monday, not my gaming channel Sunday. So we'll be seeing You Love in YouTube heaven. I hope you love getting banned. Yeah, he got tossed out of here for being so disrespectful as to try to speak about other things on Joe Manchin Monday. The only person who can do that is Ruben, because he has plot armor. But I told you all these war resolutions kind of seem like it's the same gimmick over and over, where they try to get you to think it might actually change this time. We've made compelling arguments where we should stay out of these conflicts, and it's the same couple of people that vote against them and for them. I was actually really disappointed with the Republicans on the Afghanistan one, because Murkowski didn't even show up. And she's usually one of the more, I guess, libertarian-leaning Republicans in international issues. So I was really shocked. I wasn't shocked when I saw Manchin. The warmonger in the flesh. I'm running out of things to say. If there's any further comments or statements or thoughts or theories, let me know, because I'm pretty tapped out. I wasn't expecting to do the stories as quickly as I did. I do want to do this Afghanistan video. So if there's anything else left to say, speak now or forever hold your peace. Now I'm trying to finish the script for this other relationship video I'm trying to put up either tomorrow or Wednesday. John Kasich is now reaching out to Biden. Yeah, I saw that. You said he's reaching out to Biden and the Democrats. I heard that he's going to be giving a speech at the next DNC, which is kind of unprecedented. Well, not unprecedented, but it's a very rare thing for someone to, be able to speak at both of them at various points. Yeah, I told you what's funny is that if you look at TYT's like algorithm or views or whatever, I've never seen a channel with 4 million subs not even get 100,000 a video. I'm trying to remember how much would that be, because 1 million is a quarter of their subs, and then 100,000 is a tenth of that. So was that a 40th? A big chunk of TYTs are. Oh, I know. When you go on their streams, you can see that. Yeah, they have a whole bunch of people that are talking nasty about them. All right, yesterday the video they did on Don Jr. got 600,000. Why, I do not know. The Fox News one, and then the Trump one, and then that stream that Cenk did on Trump got, okay, so 2 of them got 100,000. The one Cenk did got almost 300,000. I just keep seeing a lot of like 80,000, 40,000. Oh, was that 16? Oh, okay, I was about to say. I just don't know where the subs are at. Like those are really low views for a channel that big, but whatever. They almost have 5 million subs. Jesus. That's why I said, what's the point of having a bunch of subs if nobody watches? You saw what happened with PewDiePie. I've got 90 million subs, but now I can't even get 10 million views on the video. What a great thing that is for me when most of them don't even show up. I would assume that a lot of TYT's former supporters left them after their Warren embrace. I would like to believe that's true, but I have this weird feeling that if we go and like actually dig through their videos, we can find videos that have like roughly the same number of views. Like I don't believe that if that was a group of people that left, it wasn't that big. And I already told you, Jank is the only one that's really been pushing Warren because, I played the video where Anna was calling out, what do you call it? Anna she was calling out Warren for not endorsing Sanders. She was like, this narcissistic ego trip she's on is unacceptable. So that's mostly just Jank that goes and defends her, which I think has a lot to do with the fact that she's one of only, if I can remember correctly, 3 senators that's been interviewed by TYT, 2 that have been in studio with them. Because I've only seen them talk to Sanders and Warren in studio, and I know Jank had an interview with the subject of this stream 3 years ago, where Jank asked him, "Why are you a Democrat?" And he said, "My mama was a Democrat, my daddy was a Democrat, my granny was a Democrat, my great grandpa was a Democrat." The whole bloodline were Democrats, so he inherited it. Oh my God, what a and that. I remember I had this one person where every time I would mention Manchin, instead of saying his name, I would just say, you know that Democrat where they asked him why he was a Democrat? They said, my mama was a Democrat, and my daddy was a Democrat, and my granny was a Democrat, my grandpa was a Democrat. What the hell is wrong with you where that's your rationale for being part of a political party? I inherited it. Yeah, he bleeds blue. Oh my God. You Love says, I hope you don't plan on quitting. You are the few. I assume you meant you are one of the few non-biased news sources on the internet. Yeah. Well, I've admitted my bias. I just give people credit if it's due. So I don't know if I would agree with that sentiment. Besides, if I did quit, you just go watch somebody else. We already know Ruben would just start showing up on Jimmy Dore streams if I decided to throw in the towel, if I said the hell with it. Or he would go on TYT streams to troll. I love that they're writing all that crazy stuff and Jank just ignores them. I know Music Fiend would go back to the TYT. He's probably over there right now. You saw he only left 2 comments, then he vanished. So I'm not sitting through this ad. Yeah, I just try to. I don't think they ever read the live chats. Oh no, they don't. But I know that Jank can see them because he did a stream about maybe a month ago where he was like, I'm looking in the comments and you guys are saying this. But no, Ruben, that's actually a thing that they do where they'll be conscious of the fact that people are writing stuff and they just won't read it. And that's not just political people. There is a channel for a certain cartoon that I cover. I'm not going to say who it is. And he had the chat on his screen and deliberately, when people weren't putting in super chats, he was like, I'm waiting to see what you guys, I'm reading what you guys are writing. He will not say it unless someone gives him some money. That's slimy. It's disgusting. It's ridiculous. But hey, what can I say? He's the one with 600,000 subs. I'm just a lonely peon that scrapes a couple of people. Yeah, Music Fiend would be in TYT's chat trolling. I thought you guys said Sanders was gonna win, huh? he would be messing with them instead. Oh my God. He would just be another troll on in the TYT Rogues gallery. They have so many people that do videos on them and make channels to mess with, and no, they don't even say anything to them. Oh my God! I just the idea that you respond to these people and they say nothing back. Like you're more likely to get a response out of Jank if you write something nasty to him on Twitter than if you make a video being nice or cordial. Some streamers abuse their watchers into following them. Well, if you think you've been abused on here, you can leave because I'm not abusing anybody. I've been very nice for the most part. Anyways, yeah, I think we're pretty much done here. Because people only writing one comment every 5 minutes or something. Anyways, I'll see if I can put up this relationship video this week. I've got another DB video, which might come out maybe Friday. I don't know. It might be a little bit earlier than that. Who knows? All right. So see you guys later. Have a good rest of your week. Thank you for hitting the like button, whoever that was. See you.